Hello, Wasteland! Yes, welcome back, brothers! That's right, we are looking at Gaslands UK's Car of the Month video for April 2023. Oh yes, the fourth season of this competition, my brothers! Yes, and what a month it has been. I'm your host, James Hall of JH Miniatures, and this month has been kindly sponsored by Benjamin Pop, a member of our very own admin team and owner of the BP Custom Creations YouTube channel. Check it out in the description box down below. So, just before we get started, can we again say a massive thank you for Ben for sponsoring, providing the prizes and the theme for this month. And if you haven't, check out his YouTube channel. At 11,000 subscribers and counting, this guy is an up-and-comer to the modelling, die-cast and diorama conversion building world. Some of his trash builds are absolutely to die for, so check out the link in the description down below. So thank you again, Ben, for sponsoring this competition and providing cash money prizes for this month. That's right, we have 3 prizes to give away, with £30 to first place, £20 to second, and £10 for third. And you heard that right, my friends. This is not vouchers, this is not store credit. No, this is actual cash money. We are talking Wonga, Moolah, doubloons, Wasteland, Krugerrand, you name it. So with hard cash on the line, what was the theme for this month? Well, Ben wanted to test you all, and as a master builder himself, he wanted to see you all raise the bar and hit a challenge that he himself has reached. That's right, we are talking about using paper or card in your build. So, Ben famously used paper himself back in 2020 to win the November competition. Actual paper, making it look like rolled steel. It blew us away at the time, and he wants to see you do the same. So it doesn't matter if you start with a die-cast car and added paper to it, or if for bonus points you made the entire thing out of paper and cardboard. But this month you had to use paper or card in your build. And we ain't talking about plastic card here, boys and girls. We're talking about trees, we're talking about wood, we're talking about the paper that comes from nature, alright? So yes, what a theme for this month. A real testament to this competition's ingenuity. So, you guys did not disappoint. Let's have a look at everyone finished this month. We had 21 finished entrants. That's right, 21. So, from the top, we had Adam Pollard, Alfie McFarland, Arise Lightspear, Ben Farrow, Daniel Mumford, David Bousset, David Traves, Daz Phillips, Hardo Pius, Keith Ambrose, Keith McAvoy, Kev Williams, Matt Morrill, Matt Reeve. That's right, our very own admin member got involved this month. Oh baby. Matt Whittam, Michael Mersey, Nick Kitch, Richard Hubbard, Sam Wessels, my friend, returning to the fray, Scott Howland, and of course, Travis Usner. So let us start this month off strong, my brothers. Let us start with a returning heavyweight champion, the likes of which this competition hasn't seen for years. That's right, I'm talking about that dastardly fellow of the Wasteland, that absolute Ayatollah of rock and roller. That's right, Matt Reeve's entry for this month. Oh yes, and setting the bar, setting the standard for everyone to try and hit this month. He made the entire murder tractor here out of cardboard and paper. Even the cabling connecting the minigun to the base of the vehicle, even the bullet feed, everything was made out of card or paper, or as you can see, a pack of playing cards. What can I say, Matt? It is so good to see you return to form. It is so good. It has been too long, my friend, since you've entered this competition. And I know you've been doing some of the head-to-heads in the background, but come on, this is where the real fun is. You know it and you love it. The rust paint effects are just divine, just absolutely to die for. It looks like a combination of both stippling, dry brush, as well as maybe a bit of salt masking, but I could be mistaken. I love what looks like a little cheeky nod to Molinaro Dominique from last year and the Union Jack rust on the front. That might just be me reading into it, but that's what I see, alright? And it looks really good. The actual build itself is just top notch, absolutely top notch. The track work and those little rivets, those little links that go across. Oh my goodness, my friend, that is a work of art, because there are sections of this where it just lines up beautifully, and every single step on that track and every single link just lines up one to one. Oh, mate, that is really good. That is solid gold, because I know how tedious it can be stamping out individual little rivets. So gluing those all in place, oh mate, come on, that's really good. Overall, the build is recognisable, it's iconic, you know, it's that wonderful murder tractor that we all know and love. But at the same time, it's got its own personal flair, you know, that it's not just a bulldozer, like it's got the minigun, it's got the spikes, it's got the wonderful grabbing claw at the back. I like to see a bit more rivet work on the actual body of the vehicle itself, at least in the areas where it's extra armour that's been attached. It looks like you did some pinprick work on one part of the panel, but I can't. That might just be me seeing something that's not there. Just above the driver's vision slit on the left-hand side, it looks like little pinpricks, but it might have been painted on. Or it might be me imagining it. But yeah, some little extra rivets or some weld beads or something. I mean, you went the whole hog on this, Matt. You went for pure paper and cardboard and nothing else. I love it. Absolutely love it. What a solid entry. And as I said, it is so good to see you return to this competition, my friends. Great work, Matt. And then, as we come away from Matt, how can we not talk about returning heavyweight champion from this year, David Bousset, with his 4th entry now. That's right, he's 1/3 of the way through doing the 12 of 12. And we're all rooting for you, my friend David. We're all behind you, wanting to see you cross that finishing line. Another entirely scratch-built paper and cardboard build here. Even the little robot man driving the vehicle, even he is made of paper and cardboard. What a level of detail to go to. There's a wonderful sense of play and fun here. Like, just the giant paper planes of dynamite attached to them is so silly and ridiculous. That might break it for me. Like, the rest of the vehicle, absolutely love. Even the crane arm, I absolutely love. But I do find that sort of shrinks the scale a bit, and it feels a bit Toy Story and a little bit toy, but the actual level of detail here is spot on. Absolutely spot on. When we talk about trying to make a vehicle entirely from paper and cardboard, doing something that's open-topped, where you can see the engine and all the cabling and wires and all that, mate, absolutely spot on. What a rock solid entry. I think the sort of paper tubes you've made for the engine exhausts there, and they do look a little too much like paper even when painted up, because that's that thinness. But it's just the difficulty of working with this material at the, you know, pushing it to this degree. Like, it can be so hard, but it's such a solid entry, David. A fine addition to your 12 of 12 for this year. Oh, just keep going, David. Don't weaken. Let's see what you come up with for May, all right, my friend? Well done. And then, after David, let us take a step back to have a look at some of the newer entries to this competition. That's right, I'm talking about Ben Farrow's build for this month. And my goodness, Ben, I love it. I love the level of detail you've gone to with this chopped down van, this music van that you've done. Because those speakers are entirely made of paper and cardboard, aren't they? You've even scored in the speaker grills on them, which I think is fantastic. The entire back end, that trailer section, because you've cut away from the van and you've built that. You know, that looks like plasticard. I'm pretty sure that's all cardboard, but that is really solid work, man. It's really good. The little posters printed on, the little, you know, the end is nigh, a radioactive tour. I think that's fitting, and it does work. The painting can be hit and miss, like the yellow of those hubcaps. Although those are some really stock tyres and I wish you'd change those wheels, the yellow of those hubcaps works really well. That is solid yellow. Love it. However, some of the yellows and some of the graffiti, the faces painted onto the speakers, it's a bit thin in areas and it's a bit washed out. But no, absolutely fantastic entry this month, Ben. And what can I say? If this is the level of quality that you can put out, I look forward to seeing what you do for May's competition. Oh yes. And then after Ben, we have, of course, returning fan favourite to this competition, Michael Mersey's entry. Oh yes, what can I say? This is a wonderful sporty build, isn't it, Michael? Now, Michael, we need to make one thing clear, my friend. Is your timestamp for this month really the letter that you got from Gloucestershire Police for speeding this month? Because you probably shouldn't put that online. That's probably the kind of thing that you hide away. You go, well, I've done the time. I've attended the speed awareness course. I don't think we need to talk about this anymore. Yeah, what can I say? It's a fantastic entry. I love the bodywork you've done for this month. I think that's absolutely spot on, because it really hits that sort of Mad Max feel, that real sort of rough and ready bodywork of the Wasteland, while at the same time having that kind of racer heritage. I think the 5 heavy machine guns in the front is absolutely killer. That is insane. That's an insane armament to have up front, but makes so much sense when you see this thing. Like, man, what a beast. What an absolute monster. But yes, using your speed awareness course paperwork to make the body, or to make the over armor, shall we say. Oh my goodness, my friend. You got to behave yourself. You got to be careful. No worries, my friend. What a solid entry. What an absolutely solid entry. Love it, Michael. And it is so good to see you return to form, my friend. Then after Michael Mersey, we have close friend to my heart. Of course, we are talking about my boy, Sam Wessels, and his triumphant return to the competition. Going, you know what? How hard can it be? I will make my entire entry from paper. Fantastic, Sam. Fantastic. The paint job is, as always, something that needs a bit of work, but the build is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It captures that iconic VW Beetle look. I so wish you could up teeny tiny little squares of cardboard to make like little rivets or something for the extra armour or for the ram. But I understand, like, you were eager to paint it, you wanted to get it done, and mate, it is a great build. At this point, it's just the painting. That's all that you need to master now, because the build is solid. The concept and execution are so good. I love it. It's just the paint job's a bit rough and it's a bit too watered down. Like, if some of these colours were a bit more solid, like the metals, if the metals and the body of the van, because it looks like you've gone for that sort of beigey off-green look for the main body and then white on top. If that was a bit harder and a bit more filled in, that would look really good. That would look really solid. What can I say? A fantastic entrance, Sam. And as always, my friend, it is so good to see you enter this competition. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with for May's competition. And after Sam, we have, of course, Adam Pollard's entry for this month. Now, as a addendum to last month's video, myself and the admin team and Adam, we've been in contact regarding the photos that he submits. And I get it, it can be issues with the camera, with the lighting, with trying to get these close-up shots. So I just want to add for the record that no, Adam does not Photoshop his photos before submitting them to the competition. That was an error on my part, for which I apologise. But what can I say? He has not let that stop him this month, because this is an absolutely rock-solid rally car build that you've entered, Adam. My goodness. I love it. I absolutely love the bodywork here, because that's all done by hand. That's all done completely by hand, which just 10 out of 10. What can I say? Absolute 10 out of 10 work there. I love the layering because it creates that smooth body panel effect, while at the same time, if you look at it at a distance, it really does look like the body of a standard die-cast car. The rust work is really nice. I wish it had like a gun or something, or some spikes or something to tie it into the Wasteland a little bit more, because right now it feels a bit too domestic, shall we say. It's a bit too friendly, a bit too safe, even with those sharp angular lines. So maybe just some spikes or something, but no. Wonderful entry, Adam. And as always, I look forward to seeing what you come up with for the rest of this year, my friend. Fantastic work. But if we are talking about returning heavyweight champions, how can we not talk about that beast from the east? That's right, Arise Lightspear and his absolutely totalitarian military build for this month. Oh my goodness, Arise, you outdo yourself at every turn. My goodness, my friend, look at the size of this monster. And this is the really nice thing about a month like April, where the theme is something as simple but as complex as using paper in your build, because a lot of people could have just taken that to stick a couple of signs on or to try some things out. But you know what? This is what it's about. It's about going the extra mile. It's about pushing the material to the absolute limit to see, can I make it look like tarp? Can I make it look like cloth? Can I make it look like folded metal or the barrel of a gun or an exhaust or the cab and the body of a big military truck? Because you know what, Arise, this is an incredible build here. What a contender. I love it. I love all the different textures you've been able to get out of this material. And yeah, okay, this isn't a full 100% paper or card build, but that was not the challenge for the month. The challenge was to incorporate paper and card, and this is how it is done. This is how it is done, because the elements work so well together. And it really is a recognisably Wasteland post-apocalyptic build, my goodness. I love the shed on the back, like maybe it's just there to store ammunition, but the big anti-armour cannon on the back, the little heavy machine gun, mate, those little details, those additions are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Fantastic work as always, Arise. And after Arise, we have, of course, Keith Ambrose's entry, who, not wanting to be outdone by anyone, decided, let's do an enormous pirate ship of a build. That's right. I bet you weren't expecting this, boys and girls, for a paper and card themed month. No, he's getting back to the real roots of the wood, of the trees that the paper comes from. Going back to vehicles made almost predominantly from wood. No, it's an absolutely stunning build, isn't it? My goodness. This is the thing about this month. It's about incorporating paper into the build, not just, trying to overexert yourself. It's about, like, you've got all the barrels and tires and chains and barbed wire, which added over that paper and corrugated card overlay really help tie it together. I mean, these are some classic techniques we are seeing here, boys and girls. That corrugated cardboard technique has been around since the dawn of time for that sort of sheet metal look, and it just works so well. It works every single time. Mate, what an absolute banger of a build. I think where you lose it a bit for me has got to be the green stuffed flag on the top of that crow's nest, because, mate, that's a real sort of blob on a stick, isn't it? It's not the best, but there are some absolutely fantastic things going on. That anchor, that rusty anchor, brilliant, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. And then we have, of course, Matt Morrell's entry for April's competition. And Matt, we need to talk about the war crimes that you committed last month. We need to talk about the destruction of many, many Magic the Gathering cards that went into this. What can I say? This is nature's very own 3D printer, isn't it? I mean, you glued together something, it must be 50 or 100 Magic cards to make this. Like, you look at the pictures of this construction and they are glued and bound together. They were destroyed for this month's competition, and yet you see the body that he's shaped from it and just the build that's come from it, and it's absolute solid gold. And I think the nice thing here is there's no real sense of waste. Like, the vehicle is just an absolute unit, a beast. But all of the additions around it, from the front ram to the back trailer to the giant rocket, they're all made from the bits of off-cut Magic the Gathering card that was sacrificed to make this build. So it's not like it all just ended up in the bin. It's like, yes, well, I whittled out the car body and that was it. The rest went in the bin. No. Matt did the whole thing. Like, this is, oh, mate, I've got strange feelings about this build at the end of the day. What can I say? But an absolute work of art. I love the addition of some surviving Magic cards on the sides alongside calling the rocket the magic missile. Like, mate, as always, an absolutely brilliant entry from yourself, but we'll let it slide this once. But you stop damaging Magic the Gathering cards. As a Magic player myself, I'm deeply troubled by this. You stop destroying them. That's an affront to nature, my friend. And you made them out of green Magic cards as well. Oh, what can I say? Look, there's even a little bit on the bottom where you can see the back of the card. Why? Why do you do this? Your painting has come so far, and I love how yellow the rocket is. But as always, the emphasis is on, the rust textures are great, but let's see more. We want more map. We want solid panels alongside the rust textures. We want more effects, more stuff, more material, because that's what really gets the motor turning, all right? Absolutely brilliant entry, but no more destroying Magic cards. But if we're talking about map morals entry, how can we not talk about the glorious return of Scott Howland and submitting all of his photos in the correct format, plain white background, horizontal or landscape. Brilliant, absolute brilliant work, my friend Scott. Love your entry this month. Do not tailgate, that is some solid advice. What can I say? You've gone for the minimal approach. The paper is there, the card is there, the enormous oil drum, which I don't drop a match near it because it will just go off, I think. Absolutely solid gold. I would say you could have done with a few more like rivets or welds or something. I appreciate the back cab, the little hopper on top, the little passenger compartment that what looked like little space hobbits. I think it's the green capes and the little short stature that do it, but they really look like sort of post-apocalyptic hobbits that they're sort of stood in. I really love how that's made entirely from paper and just regular old lined paper as well. I think that's wonderful. But this build could just do with some rivets or something to break up those big plain flat sections. But what can I say? It is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see you enter this competition, my friend. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with for May's competition. But that said, as always, my brothers, we can't talk about all the entrants. This video would go on far too long. And sadly, there cannot be time for everyone. However, what we can talk about are the winners of this month. That's right. But just before we get into that, can we all pour one out for this month's Wooden Spoon Award? Oh yes, because I think it needs to be said that the Wooden Spoon for April's competition goes to Alfie McFarland. Alfie, this is not a car. It's not. You post a picture of it next to a car, that NASA truck, and that's really good. But paper folding origami, 2 pieces of paper to make what looks like a little hover car with a paper folded cannon. Mate, come on. You knew this wasn't going to work. You knew we weren't going to look at that and be like, oh yes, of course. Like, come on. It's arguably not even in the same scale. Because let me ask you, boys and girls, what is the carry capacity of this vehicle? How many passengers does it take? I can tell you with the NASA truck, I can tell you with that. That's a heavy truck. That could carry, what, 4 crew and multiple weapons? But this thing, I got no idea. Props for the banana for scale. Absolutely appreciated as always. However, sadly, yes, my friend, you are receiving the illustrious Wooden Spoon Award for this month. But enough, my brothers, because we all know what we're here for. That's right, we want to know who has won this month's competition, so I will keep you on the edges of your seats no longer. That is right, my friends. Start the drum roll, because the winner of Gaslands UK's Car of the Month competition for April 2023 is Matt Whittam! Yes, congratulations, Matt. Come on down. A £30, well, not a voucher, but £30 is on its way to you as we speak. My goodness, and it is not hard to see why. A unanimous decision amongst the admin team for this month. And what can I say? An absolutely eye-wateringly good build. Everything we have been talking about so far, everything in this video has been executed and demonstrated here to perfection. I mean, you guys, I want you to look at the front cab of this build and you tell me, doesn't that look like something that you could go out and buy from Hot Wheels or Mattel or Matchbox right now? Like, especially with their jumbo-sized trailer teams that they do, where you get like the Bel Air, you get like a Corvette, but then the truck cab is shaped like that. Mate, it is wonderfully designed and executed. And to think that this is entirely made from paper and card down to the tyre tread in the wheels. Matt Whittam, my friend, buddy, it has been building up to this for so long, but you have outdone yourself in the previous months. Absolutely fantastic work. So well done. The barbed wire, the combination of textures and materials. It's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. And you just go to show how far just something as simple as paper and card can be pushed. Look at all the rivet work, my brothers. Look at it. Bask in that glory and the hours that must have been spent attaching those to this model, because it is such a thing of beauty. And absolutely, unanimously have flown away with this month in first place. What can I say? Brilliant work, Matt Whittam, as always, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with for the rest of this competition and this year, my brother. Then in second place we have, of course, continuing his blaze of glory in this competition, we have, of course, the titan of industry that is David Bousset and his wonderful robotic entry. What can I say? It was a real close run thing between you and Matt, alright? Oh, baby, it was close. And with the work you have done this month, it is not hard to see why. Absolutely brilliant stuff as always, David. 4 of 12 completed. Let's see 5. Let's see 6. Let's see you finish the year, my friend. And, of course, let's see what you do for May's competition. And of course, in third place, returning superstar from the past. That's right, former announcer to this very competition. You know who I'm talking about, my friends, of course. Matt Reeve and his entry this month. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but he's a member of the admin team. How can he be eligible to win? Wouldn't he just vote for himself? As we know, I myself enter the competition every August, and when I enter the competition I am eligible to win because I myself am not eligible to vote on the winner, and that is how it works. If an admin member wants to take part in the competition, that is fine, but they hand over their right to have any influence on the decisions. And it is not hard to see, with an entry as rock solid, setting the bar for this month, the standard that everyone had to achieve, just from the gem, from the reflective work on that beautiful vision sight on the minigun, to the rust work, to the texturing and the paint. My goodness, Matt, it is not hard to see why you have won. So enjoy the cash that is on its way to you, my friend, and I'm sure you'll spend it at one of our many glorious sponsors' stores for this competition. Now, that all said, we are here, my brothers, at the end of the video. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, head on over to Big Cartel and pick up some of the merchandise that we run for this fair competition of ours. New designs are coming later on this year, and as always, I'm intensely jealous of anyone who owns one of those mugs, because I myself do not have one of the mugs. Hashtag buy James a mug. And just before we finish up this video, my brothers, there is one final solemn announcement that needs to be made. And that is, yes, as of the posting of this video, sadly, Benjamin Pop will no longer be a member of the admin team. He is stepping down. He is handing over the reins for the foreseeable future. This is mainly due to non-Wasteland related activity, real life getting in the way. You guys, like, real talk for a minute, you guys know how it is. Family, work, kids, it all comes first, my friends, alright? So, I just want to say, from myself to you, Ben, and from everyone here in the Wasteland toy car diecast modeling community, thank you so much for all your help over the last 2 years. You've been a fantastic member of the team. Honestly, you have sorted so much for us and put out so many fires between me and Colin and Matt. So seriously, thank you, my friend. And to everyone watching this video, I'm sure I speak for us all when I say, again, thank you, Ben, and you are more than welcome to return when things are ready for you. But that said, ending on a high note, you know what this means, my brothers? This means that the trials have now begun. That's right, we are recruiting for a new addition to the admin team. So if you're interested, if you want to throw your hat into the ring of champions, then contact myself, Colin, or Matt Reeve for the chance to be one of the chosen few to decide who will be the victors of this glorious Wasteland competition of ours. Thank you, my brothers, and I will see you all in May's competition. Thank you, and goodbye, Wasteland.